Have you ever noticed that factories don't just spread out evenly? In pretty much every major economy, industry clusters together in just a few specific regions, while other places struggle for decades, no matter how many tax breaks they throw around. Well, this isn't bad luck, and it isn't just politics. It's a really powerful economic force. See this clustering? It's not a coincidence at all. It creates these intense gravitational centers for money and for production. And once a region builds this kind of density, it becomes almost untouchable. This whole phenomenon is called the manufacturing lock-in. So the lock-in is the self-reinforcing cycle. A powerful industrial ecosystem basically pulls all new investment towards it, which starves other regions of any opportunity. And here's the kicker. Once it's in place, it is incredibly difficult to break. And look, this isn't some isolated thing. We see this fundamental pattern play out all over the world, time and time again. Think about the American Rust Belt back in its heyday, or Germany's Ruhr Valley after the war, and of course, China's Pearl River Delta, which basically became the factory of the world. Every single one was a powerhouse in its time. You've got totally different political systems, different cultures, different continents, and yet you get the exact same economic outcome. So why? What is the hidden variable here? Well, it's because it is never, ever about a single factory. It's about building a complete system, an interconnected web of suppliers, logistics, finance, and a deep, deep pool of specialized talent. Once that system connects, gravity just takes over. Now, to really see this blueprint in action, we can look to the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. It is a perfect case study in how a manufacturing lock-in is actually engineered on purpose. India really proves the rule here. You've got this massive workforce, but manufacturing is still concentrated in just a handful of states. And Tamil Nadu is a prime example of that, with a per capita income over 170% of the national average. Yeah, that kind of success, it didn't just happen by accident. It was deliberately engineered, the result of a really long-term strategic vision. So how'd they do it? Well, that vision was built on 4 foundational pillars, and if you can understand them, you're going to understand how industrial power is actually built. First up, Pillar 1, predictability over generosity. Think about it. Factories are 30-year bets. Investors don't just want low taxes. What they really need to know is that the rules aren't going to suddenly change tomorrow. Tamil Nadu's stable political system kept a consistent policy framework, and that certainty, well, that's worth more than any subsidy. Okay, Pillar 2, the ecosystem effect. A new factory doesn't have to build its supply chain from scratch. Nope, it just plugs directly into a pre-existing machine of component suppliers, repair networks, and specialized labor. This cuts their costs right from day one. And this isn't just about components, it's about people. Decades of dominance in industries like textiles created this dense shared talent pool. New companies can tap into that instantly instead of having to train a whole workforce from scratch. Next up, Pillar 3, friction reduction. In the world of manufacturing, distance isn't just geography, it's friction. So by investing in world-class ports and highways, Tamil Nadu systematically reduced the time tax on moving goods. And the numbers here are just staggering. We're talking about nearly 100 million tons of cargo flowing through just these 3 ports in 9 months. That kind of efficiency isn't just nice to have, it's a massive competitive advantage. And that brings us to the 4th and maybe the most important pillar, institutional memory. This is the invisible knowledge that's just baked into the culture. It means you have a workforce and a bureaucracy that are fluent in the language of mass production. I mean, when generations of families have worked in factories, that knowledge gets passed down. They understand workflows and quality control in a way you just can't teach in a classroom. This deep industrialization dramatically lowers the operational risk for companies, and that's an advantage that money literally cannot buy. So when you combine all 4 of these pillars, you don't just have a successful industrial state, you have a fortress, an economic moat that is incredibly difficult for any challenger to cross. And this right here is why the challengers so often fail. A competing region comes along and offers huge tax breaks. They offer money, but what they can't offer is the system. They can't offer the deep talent pool, the seamless logistics, and the near-zero operational risk of the place that's already locked in. At the end of the day, the crucial takeaway is this. Manufacturing doesn't chase opportunity. It settles into certainty. And that is the fundamental reality of the manufacturing lock-in. This is Bizznewzz. We decode the systems behind the headlines. If you want to understand how industry actually works, make sure you subscribe and follow along.